every town has a hill. You know the one. The kind nobody builds on, the kind that's been cleared for development 3 times in the last 50 years, and something has gone wrong every time. The contractor backs out, the permits disappear, the surveyor quits without explanation. The kind where the grass grows in a slightly wrong shade of green, too vivid, too even, like something underneath is feeding on it rather than feeding it. The kind where dogs stop walking. Not slow down, not hesitate, but plant their feet and refuse, no matter the leash tension, no matter the command. They stop and they look at the top of the hill, and they make no sound at all. That's the thing people always mention later. The silence. Dogs bark at thunder, at strangers, at shadows, at nothing. They don't go silent unless something is very wrong in a way they understand, and we don't. Every town has one, you know the one. The hill outside Harlan, Pennsylvania has been there since before Harlan was Harlan. The town was founded in 1783, and the records from that year reference the hill in passing. Not with explanation, not with ceremony, just with the casual acknowledgement of something everyone already knows about. A property deed from 1798 describes a farmstead boundary as running to the eastern edge of the old hill, where the boundary of all reasonable ownership ends. Nobody explains what that means. Nobody has to. The County Historical Society in Harlan has a small archive. In the back, in a box labeled Miscellaneous Pre-Incorporation in the most careful handwriting an archivist named Ruth has ever seen, as if someone understood that what they were writing needed to last. There are documents she does not show to casual researchers. Not because they're restricted, because of what happens to people who read them. Ruth read them herself. Once, when she first took the position, she read them on a Tuesday afternoon in November, and when she finished, she sat very still for a long time and then drove home and didn't come back to work for 3 days. The documents describe events on the hill over 60 years, from roughly 1720 to 1780. A missing child in 1724. A missing child in 1731. A missing child in 1748. A missing child in 1756. A missing child and a missing adult in 1771. The adult had gone looking for the child. Neither was found. After 1771, the documents shift. They become less like records and more like instructions. Less this happened and more this is what you do, so that this does not happen again. The instructions involve the rhyme. Jack and Jill went up the hill. Teach your children this. Make sure they know it before they are old enough to go near the hill alone. Make the warning into a song. Make it so deep in them, so early, that they never think to question it. They just know, in the wordless way you know, to pull your hand from fire, that the hill is not for climbing. In 1987, a boy named Daniel Marsh climbed the hill on a dare. He was 14, new to Harlan, enrolled in the local school. For exactly 3 weeks before the incident, he had heard the local kids talk about the hill with the specific bravado designed to disguise real fear as entertainment. He decided to prove something. He made it to the top. He came back down. This is the part the old documents didn't predict. Nobody had ever gone all the way up and returned. The children who disappeared had simply disappeared. Daniel Marsh came down the hill on a Saturday afternoon and walked home and ate his dinner and went to bed. His parents noticed nothing wrong. His teachers noticed nothing wrong. The other students noticed something wrong immediately. He was the same. He looked the same, talked the same, had the same memories and mannerisms. But he was watching, not staring, nothing so obvious. A quality of attention that hadn't been there before. An awareness of his surroundings that felt less like a person being present in a room and more like something assessing it, cataloging it, learning it. Daniel Marsh's family moved away in the spring of 1988. A job opportunity, a sensible move. Nothing suspicious. Ruth tracked him down 6 years ago. She sent him a letter asking about the hill. He called her the same day the letter arrived. She'd expected resistance, denial. Instead, he was quiet for a long time and then said, very carefully, that he'd been wondering when someone would ask. She asked what he had seen at the top. Nothing, he said. There was nothing at the top. That was the thing. I climbed all the way up and there was nothing there. Just grass and wind and the town below and the sky above. She asked why the other students had noticed the change in him. Another long silence, because I understood something. When I got to the top, he said. I understood that the nothing wasn't empty. I understood that the reason there was nothing there was because it had already left, because it had already come down. Ruth asked what he meant. The hill isn't wrong because something lives there, he said. It's wrong because something uses it to get from where it is to where we are. And when I got to the top, I must have gotten too close to, I think, some of it. He stopped. Don't let anyone climb the hill, he said. Teach your children the rhyme. Make sure they understand. He hung up. She has not heard from him since. They still teach the rhyme in Harlan. Not in schools, not officially, but mothers teach it to their children and fathers teach it to their children, and by the time a child is old enough to walk to the hill alone, they already know, in the wordless way the instructions intended, that the hill is not for climbing. The warning works. It has worked for 200 years. Daniel Marsh was the last person to reach the top and come back. Ruth thinks about what he said sometimes. About something using the hill to get from where it is to where we are. About him getting too close. About what is looking out from behind his eyes at the world it has been learning for 40 years. She doesn't think about it too long. There is work to do. Records to maintain, a box to keep locked, and the rhyme to keep teaching. Don't go up the hill,